I'm Abigail Galvan. Welcome to EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. Abortion in America. The Supreme Court weighs in on access to a widely used abortion drug. We have analysis from the president of the March for Life. Building a home. Meet the man from Brazil raising several dozen special needs children and adults as his own. And signs of life.
A younger man sees a man in his 20s screaming pro-life and proud, then hopefully that'll make the younger generation wake up a small.
We take you to a rally for the unborn in Dublin, Ireland. The U.S. Supreme Court temporarily extends access to mail-order Mifepristone, a widely used abortion drug. Justice Samuel Alito's order earlier this week also says the abortion drug will remain available from pharmacies or through the mail and can be obtained without an in-person visit to a doctor. The order expires later this week as the court considers the next steps in the case. The news from the Supreme Court comes as the Trump administration rolls out a new website with pro-life resources. MOMS.gov launched on Mother's Day. It aims to promote life-affirming pregnancy information to expecting parents, including links to pregnancy resource centers. This is part of President Trump's plan to increase fertility. The website does not reference in vitro fertilization, but a new proposal from the Department of Labor is seeking to expand health insurance coverage options to IVF. The Catholic Church opposes IVF because it separates fertilization from the marital act and results in the destruction of millions of human embryos that are never implanted. For more, we turn to Jennie Bradley Lichter, president of the March for Life and a Harvard Law graduate. Jennie, thank you for being with us. First off, is this order from Justice Alito a surprise? And what was your reaction when you first heard the news?
Thanks, Abby. Always a pleasure to be with you. So Justice Alito is what's called the circuit justice for the Fifth Circuit. So any emergency petition from the Fifth Circuit goes to him, which is good news, of course, for pro-lifers. I'm not concerned about his order to temporarily reinstate abortion by mail. That's pretty standard procedure. I would be surprised if the Supreme Court wanted to leave such a massive nationwide regulatory change in place, especially because they are planning to issue a more lasting decision really within a few days, right? So Justice Alito had initially indicated that there would be a decision from the court earlier this week. Then he extended this kind of current interim pause on the Fifth Circuit's decision. And now we're anticipating hearing from the court tomorrow. He currently has the stay, the administrative stay, it's called, set to lift tomorrow. So tomorrow we should be getting an actual ruling from the court telling us whether they're going to leave the current status quo in place of abortion by mail being available, or if they're going to affirm the Fifth Circuit's decision to pause abortion by mail while the underlying litigation continues. The third wildcard possibility is if the court does feel like there's so much kind of meatiness to this case and they want to have a little bit more time and information to consider it, they could set it for oral argument, which would be pretty wild because the oral argument is over for the year. The last scheduled argument was April 29th. But the court has done this in the past for cases that come up on emergency posture that they want to have a little bit more engagement with. So it'll be really interesting to see what the court decides to do tomorrow.
Yes. Now, switching gears a little bit, we mentioned the MOMS.gov website. What do you think of the website and some of the Trump administration's outreach to pro-lifers?
I love MOMS.gov. So the first thing you see when you look at MOMS.gov, which is really a lovely website, the first thing you see as you scroll down is information about PRCs, telling moms what they are and helping them find a PRC in their area. But the website isn't just for moms in challenging or unplanned pregnancies. There's all kinds of resources on it that, I would have loved this website when I was expecting my 3 kids. There's information about nutrition during pregnancy, about breastfeeding with a lot of breastfeeding support and resources, maternal mental health, sleep safety, nutrition for your kids as well as yourself. So it's a really great resource, and it's something the pro-life movement has been asking for a long time because, it's when we talk about supporting moms, it's really important not just that these resources exist, but that moms can easily find them, right? Because
Indeed.
what use is it to a mom if there's a PRC in their community, but they never have a way to discover it or know what they offer? So I think really the great benefit of MOMS.gov is going to be closing the information gap that sometimes contributes to driving women towards having abortions just because that's the most easily accessible or easily available option. So really neat thing to roll out on Mother's Day, and I encourage folks to check it out. I think it's going to do a lot of good.
That's great. Another story we're following are reports that the interim head of the FDA once represented Planned Parenthood in a 2016 court case. Jennie, what can you tell us about this?
Sure. So I actually had an opportunity to speak with Kyle Diamantas, the new acting FDA commissioner, last night. In other words, within a few hours of being handed this big new job, he was getting on the phone with pro-life leaders. And that in itself, I think, is a really encouraging sign of where his priorities are going to be. So I had a chance to just talk with him really frankly and directly about my concerns about mifepristone. It's the lack of safety, the lack of guardrails, its easy availability. And he was able to share with me about his plans and his priorities. And I came away from that conversation last night feeling pretty good that the FDA under his leadership is going to really move on this safety study they've been talking about for a long time, right? But I think we're going to see real movement. And I think that the cause of life is going to have, a real champion at the FDA. And that's terrific. Now, it is true, as you said, Abby, that when he was a young attorney about a decade ago, he was on a case team that represented a Planned Parenthood affiliate in litigation in Florida. I asked him about that because I was concerned by those reports as well. And what he shared with me is that, yes, when he was a new lawyer, essentially a brand new lawyer at his law firm, he was told that he was going to be put on this case. And like a lot of young lawyers, he just didn't really think that he had a choice. He wasn't presented with a choice. However, after he got his footing under him at the firm, he told me he asked to be taken off the case and just expressed his conscientious objections and his discomfort with the case. He's Catholic, he's pro-life, and he didn't want to be representing Planned Parenthood. And once he had sort of established himself at the firm, he voiced that concern, and the partner he was working for was willing to take him off the case. So that's the story as he shared it, and unfortunately, it's a story that I've heard before. I was very lucky when I was a young lawyer to work in a firm that was really respectful of people's moral and religious commitments, but a lot of firms really aren't. And often, as a brand new lawyer, you aren't asked; you're told what your caseload is going to be. But the bottom line, I think, is that was a decade ago and about it just doesn't have anything to do with the issues that are currently before the FDA. So I understand why that caught people's eye. And of course, it's good to ask questions and hold people accountable, hold our leaders accountable. But again, just based on my own conversations with Acting Commissioner Diamantas, I feel really comfortable that he is bringing in strong pro-life commitments and a commitment to transparency and to moving with all deliberate speed to take a close look at mifepristone and then take decisive action based on what that study shows.
Well, Jennie, thank you for giving us that inside scoop, and thank you for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
A pro-life group begins an initiative to support women who are vulnerable to abortion. The group Her Plan works to connect and grow the pro-life safety net around the country. Their goal is to increase awareness and access to community resources to support women and couples going through unexpected pregnancies. The group's latest effort is a 30-day prayer initiative, which features daily devotionals for women and their unborn babies. The head of Her Plan says the prayer initiative is very timely.
As we see the rise in chemical abortion and the flow of abortion drugs going into communities across the country, women being pressured and coerced into abortion, it really brings to the fore how the devil, as a roaring lion prowling after his prey, is going after moms and going after babies. That's who he seeks, and abortion drugs makes that effort to take the lives of babies and harm the lives of moms even easier. And so our job is to step in prayer. Our job is to step in and support. Our job is to be there for moms. And moms are truly courageous as they reject the pressure to abort. So when they do that, we want to support them in prayer.
Autumn Christensen also says Mother's Day this past Sunday was a reminder of the beauty of being a mom.
I am constantly encouraged by the courage of moms who choose life. I really believe that the same thing that drives our desire to defend the dignity of unborn children is what drives our desire to support the dignity of their moms.
Now to Brazil, where one man witnessed many children who survived abortions and ended up with disabilities, only to be abandoned by their parents. 30 years later, Antonio Carlos Taveres de Melo is still in Brazil, raising several dozen special needs children and adults as his own.
Name is João.
Quantos anos você tem?
7. Dois braços. Wood.
Known as the Brazilian Good Samaritan, Antonio operates 2 homes in Brazil with plans to expand to Portugal. The homes provide care for more than 100 children and adults with disabilities. Antonio is devoutly Catholic and considered becoming a priest before finding a different calling. And Antonio Carlos Taveres de Melo joins us now, along with 2 of his sons, Alex and Marcos Aurelio. Antonio, can you please tell us about abortion in Brazil and why so many children are abandoned after surviving an attempted abortion?
No Brasil, as crianças elas estão à margem do aborto, né? Elas sofrem com o aborto.
Many children suffer from abortion.
Porque até os 9 meses, a criança, o aborto é concedido através de abuso sexual.
Abortion is legal under some circumstances.
E até mesmo em casos de deficiência mental, as mães também são aconselhadas.
So in some cases, abortion is legal in Brazil. It's a harsh reality, but it's a reality.
Thank you so much for being here with us to bring awareness to this story. And who do you have here with you today?
Eu agradeço a vocês,
I thank
a
you
TV por
guys.
estar nos recebendo.
I
Acho que é uma
thank you
alegria
for
muito
having
grande.
us. It's a
E
pleasure to
com
be
Alex,
here.
que é meu filho,
I'm here on my
Marco
left
Aurélio.
side, Alex, my son, and also on my right
Eu
side,
tenho
Marco Aurelio.
60 filhos
both my
adotados,
sons.
todos com deficiência.
I'm the father to 60 children, all of them with
E eu
severe
considero que eu sou o
disabilities.
homem mais feliz do mundo.
And I
Ninguém é mais
believe I
feliz
am
do que
the
eu.
happiest man in the world.
Porque é uma paternidade maravilhosa.
It's about
Eu
being
tenho
father.
15 filhos já
It's a
no céu.
paternity, a very beautiful paternity.
E 45
From these
estão comigo
60,
em Petrópolis,
15 are
no Rio
already
de
in
Janeiro,
heaven.
adotados.
They passed
Todos
away.
eles
But the
jovens que
remaining
vieram de
45
sequelas
live
de
with
aborto.
me.
E
Most part of
hoje, por
them
mim, são
went to
adotados.
abortion and
Viviam numa
had
grande
some
família. Então aqui vieram
severe
2
disabilities because of
vieram
that. And today I have 2 of them
representar a
with
família,
me.
né, Alex?
They are representing our family.
Amém.
Que bendición. What a blessing. We just had Mother's Day, and next month we're going to have Father's Day. And you said you have all your children, some on earth here and some in heaven. Can you tell us about what you've learned about motherhood and fatherhood and what people learn about that in your community?
Uma das minhas maiores realizações é quando eu vejo
One
eles,
Of the
os
most
pequenininhos do
incredible
meu colo,
realizations that I have in my
passando
life is
comigo
when
pelo
I
jardim,
look at them and see they living with
fazendo
us,
carinho, né?
just
E isso
being
me dá
at
um
home,
laço de que eu não
being
sei.
God, and
Eles não
see them
nasceram de
so
meu sangue,
happy.
eles nasceram do
And I
meu
know
coração.
they
E
they
esse
were not
coração
my
pulsa cada
natural
dia.
sons, but they are born in my
E
heart.
depois uma
So
outra
it's
realidade
beautiful
que
to
mexe muito
see
comigo é quando eu estou
that
doente e que eles
whenever,
ficam
for instance, I
preocupados
am
se o
sick,
pai vai
they're
melhorar.
very worried about me because I'm the father.
Papai, melhora.
So they
que
ask
você
me,
esteja
Father, how are
bem,
you
você
doing?
esteja
Hope you
bem.
get well and better.
Então é uma realidade de quem
So being a father,
entende que existe uma
it's about
paternidade muito
to
mais do que o
understand
sangue, que é pela
that
alma.
our mission as a father goes beyond any blood relation. It's about a spiritual relation with them.
Por isso que eu quero afirmar sempre para você que eu sou o cara
That's
mais
why
feliz do mundo.
I always say I'm the happiest man in the world.
Amém.
Y se ve, and you can see it. You know, in our culture today, we have people that flee from suffering. They flee and are worried about like disabilities, and they think that's a reason to take a life. And they're very afraid of death. And you see this being introduced with physician-assisted suicide and other ways in which we try to like short end that. What message would you have for people that would encourage them to embrace this rather than run from it?
Então, a cultura da morte, ela diz que
The
aquele
culture of
que
death
não,
says
que não
that
produz, não serve. Isso aí eu
whoever
sinto
does
também na
not
minha própria
doesn't produce
realidade de Brasil, né?
is not
Mas eu
worth
queria dizer para as
living.
pessoas que têm essa
And
realidade
I am here to say
que todo ser
that
humano tem uma
every human
alma
being
e todo
has a
ser é um
soul,
dom de Deus. E esse
and every
dom de
human being
Deus
is a gift from
é
God.
para ser dado
And
do
those gifts from
início
God
até
be
o fim da sua
defended
vida
from the beginning of
Aquilo que
life
eles têm que realizar.
till the end
Todos vieram com
of
plano.
life.
Marco Aurélio
They all have a plan
e Alex,
to
eles
fulfill
vieram à
this
Terra
earth on this
porque eles
earth.
têm plano de salvação também
They've been
para
sent by
ajudar a
God
cooperar
to
com a igreja.
cooperate with the
Né,
plan of
Então, eu
salvation of
fico,
God
a
and to help
mensagem
with
é
this
essa,
and the
né?
plan of salvation of the
Entender
church.
o homem
So this is my
na
mission
sua
today, is to
capacidade.
understand every
Deus
human
o
being
sonhou.
in their capacity and mission.
Deus
God
sonhou
has
cada de nós.
a
Deus
dream
não
about
sonhou o
each one of
deficiente, Deus
us.
sonhou a pessoa
He
humana.
doesn't dream
A
about
consequência do
disability.
pecado
He
traz
dreams
a
about every
deficiência.
human man.
A consequência do
The
pecado traz o
consequence of
aborto,
sin
que
is
traz a
abortion,
eutanásia. Mas
disabilities,
Deus é essa
euthanasia.
realidade. Deus nos
But
criou por
God
amor. Por isso
has
que eles
created
no
us
céu
out of
serão
love.
pessoas perfeitas,
And I
mas
firmly
ele
believe
não
that
nos
them in
chamou
heaven will
aqui
be
a fazer
perfectly
aqui na terra.
well,
E ser dom
the
da
very image of
igreja,
God
da
in
sociedade,
heaven.
um
So
dom
here they are in this earth to be a gift for the whole society and the church.
The time is too short, so we have to say goodbye. But do you have any last messages or anything Alex would like to share with our viewers?
Eu gostaria de dizer a quem está assistindo hoje,
I would like to
gente, né?
say that
Nós somos uma
you
missão
that are
pro-life
watching
no
this,
mundo,
we're a pro-life
uma
mission in
casa
the
com
world,
inúmeras necessidades,
a house
grandes
with many
necessidades no Brasil.
necessities and needs in Brazil.
Então eu queria pedir ao
I
povo
would like to
americano que nos
ask
assistir,
you all
as pessoas
in
que estão,
America who's watching
que se
this,
abram a conhecer a página
please
Jesus
come to our
Menino,
website,
que tem no site, tem tudo isso
jesuschildcommunity.org.
na reportagem,
We
porque
also have in the
temos
United
inúmeros
States,
projetos,
friendsofbabyjesus.org.
muitas necessidades para poder
And
manter.
go
Nós
there and
estamos
see
criando
all
ali
we
grupo
do, and
partido
please check
nem
all the needs
governo.
we have,
Precisamos.
for we don't have any help for any
Eu venho aqui dar
government.
testemunho, mas eu venho oferecer também
So I'm here
as
to give my
nossas mãos como uma
testimony, but
necessidade.
also to
E aos
show you
jovens
my
que
hands and
estão nos
ask you for your
assistindo,
help.
que
And for
venham
all
fazer
the young
imersão
people watching this,
na nossa casa, venham
consider
fazer uma
coming down
experiência
to Brazil
conosco
and living
de
an
3
immersion
meses,
experience with
ano,
us,
um
living
mês.
with my
Venham.
children, caring
Nós
for them.
precisamos que
Come.
esse carisma se expanda
We
pelo
need
mundo
that this
para abrir
charisma
cada vez mais o
goes
coração
further
da
and further,
sociedade e do
and we
mundo.
want the
Alex,
society
dar
to
uma
open
palavrinha?
its doors to the life we bring. Alex, would you like to say something?
Dizer para
I
todos
would
aqui
like to say
na
to everyone,
WTN, você que está nos
to
assistindo,
EWTN,
nós vivemos na
to you who's
providência de
watching
Deus.
this, that
Nós
will live
temos
out the
plano de
providence of
saúde,
God.
né, que
So our
lá no
health
Brasil
insurance
são 45
is very expensive. We have
mil
45
reais.
children living with me.
Se
I'm one
você
of
quiser
them.
nos ajudar
So if
a
you want to
pagar,
help
a
us,
pagar o plano de saúde,
well, health
dos meus
insurance costs
irmãos,
around $10,000
seria
a
uma
month.
alegria muito
So it
grande,
would be,
porque
we will be
aquilo que o
honored
Tony
to
disse
count on your help.
aqui, né?
Thank you for your yes,
Thank
and
you.
thank you for your joy, and thank you for the way in which your community heals us. We're all the body of Christ, and just the love that you have and the love that you share, it gives something to us.
Muito obrigado, a comunidade cura todos nós, somos parte todos da igreja. Muito obrigado por virem aqui.
Amém. Obrigado por esse espaço.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Coming up, from Shamrock to Shamwalk, we take you to the March for Life in Dublin, Ireland. Welcome back to EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. I'm your host, Abigail Galvan. A Catholic maternity home in central Massachusetts gives women the support and resources they need to choose life. Visitation House was inspired by a local wife and mother who is on the path to sainthood.
It's just amazing. I love being a mom.
22-year-old Naya found herself unexpectedly pregnant while attending college. Forced to move out of her dorm and with no support from her family, she became homeless. As she started looking at her options, she discovered Visitation House in Worcester, Massachusetts, a Catholic maternity home that provides women facing unplanned pregnancy with safe housing, community, and support.
I got the interview to come here and see the home, and it was something that I was just like, wow, this is beautiful. Like, I can restart and be able to do more for my baby before she's even here. It was the best decision I made.
Naya moved in last spring, and in the fall, she gave birth to her daughter, Eliza Joy.
I was nervous because I had all those fears as a new mom. Like, what do I do? Like, if it's too hot or too cold, or what? Like, do I bundle her, or how am I supposed to dress her when we leave? Like, those a million questions, and staff were there to teach me.
Naya plans to find her own place by Eliza Joy's first birthday and someday finish her degree.
I hope she can be able to watch me graduate and cross the stage. I would love to be able to just show her nothing stops, nothing can stop you just because unexpected plans happen.
Since its opening on the Feast of the Visitation in 2005, Visitation House has served more than 300 women and their babies. The nonprofit completely relies on private donors for its funding. It was the dream of servant of God Ruth Pakaluk, a Worcester mother and pro-life advocate, to open a maternity home in her town to help pregnant women choose life. But before that vision could become reality, she passed away from breast cancer in 1998. Inspired by her passion for supporting moms, Ruth's friends opened Visitation House.
She was so adamant about it being in Worcester. It seems like it must have been the Holy Spirit prompting her, because there have been other maternity homes in the area, in surrounding towns and across Massachusetts that have closed their doors for various reasons. And here we are in the same location as when we started 21 years ago and growing strong.
Executive Director Rebecca Urban explains that Visitation not only provides women with a safe Christian home, but life skills classes that cover everything from breastfeeding to fitness and finance. Moms also receive counseling and group therapy. And to live in the house, they must either go to work or attend school.
So we're really trying to help them gain the resources and self-esteem and skills needed to survive outside of these house walls.
Clearly the babies are an incredible blessing, but to see the lives changed, it's such a gift, I think, for me.
At the center of Visitation's mission is its Catholic identity.
One of my favorite things about the house is that we actually have the Blessed Sacrament here, and I believe wholeheartedly that that brings a sense of peace and calmness to the house.
Twice a month, Visitation's chaplain offers a public mass not only for the moms, but for donors, local volunteers who bring dinner, and even former residents. Hannah lived at Visitation 17 years ago. She says her father, who worked as a pastor, was ashamed when she told him she was pregnant.
So I couldn't go home. I couldn't return back home, and I don't think they wanted me home. So this place, Visitation Home, I call it home, but Visitation was home for me. They made you feel welcome, that your child was not a mistake, that you are not a mistake.
Hannah now works as an ICU nurse, and her son Nathaniel is preparing for college. Though work keeps her busy, she comes to Visitation when she can to mentor residents.
I used to drive by and I would tell Nathaniel, listen, this is where it all started, Visitation Home, when I was pregnant with you. And I used to tell him these stories, and I said, I have to come back. There's no way anyone with any conscience can walk or drive by and not remember all the good memories and everything Visitation gave me. It's just not possible.
Another member of the Visitation community is Shayla, who moved out with her son last August. She fell into substance abuse after the death of her husband several years ago.
I really had a tough time with it, but I hit my rock bottom, they should say, right? And turned my life around when I got incarcerated. After a year of being clean and sober, I became pregnant.
Though she now lives on her own, she often comes to visit.
Like just being here and staying connected is very important for me. I come here a lot for classes, mass and dinner, or even just to pop up and say hi. I'm always signing in visitor, you know. I just love being here. I love the atmosphere.
She says Visitation House has changed her life and transformed her faith.
There's no place. Sorry. There's no place like Visitation House. I didn't have to worry. I didn't have to struggle. I enjoyed my pregnancy, and I learned so much. So I'm just grateful to have this place, and I hope it stays because they're doing God's work.
To learn more and to find out how you can help, go to visitationhouse.org. Finally, tonight, pro-lifers recently gathered in a Catholic country in Europe where abortion was legalized in 2018. EWTN's Sophia Schubeck has more on the Ireland March for Life.
Wake up, will you? Come on. Honestly. So it's wrong. It's so wrong. Like, come on. It's gone too far.
I think so many people fall into the trap thinking, it's not really my mission or whatever. It's everyone's mission. It's everyone's mission. This is the greatest issue of our time.
A country that only legalized abortion 8 years ago now sees 1 in 6 pregnancies ending in abortion every year. Following the 2018 referendum, the constitutional ban on abortion was overturned. Now, abortion is allowed up to 12 weeks.
They're massive numbers, and I think that has happened despite all of the assurances that voters were given before the abortion legislation was introduced. We've seen these massive surge in abortion numbers, and I think that it's really time to call a halt and to really try and look at how we can shift the focus from promoting abortion at every level and instead focus on encouraging women to keep their children, to parent, by offering positive alternatives to abortion.
The streets of Dublin, Ireland saw pro-lifers marching in protest of promoting abortion and in solidarity with the unborn, under the theme pro-woman, pro-baby, pro-life. The Catholic Church in Ireland is a leading voice in the country's pro-life debate. At this year's march, several church authorities made an appearance and remain outspoken on fighting for the unborn.
I think it's hugely important for Ireland right now, to be honest. I think it's very important that we stand up for life, but not only for life, but for family. In Ireland right now, the state of the family, the condition of the family, for so many is not healthy. The power of the state and the market is putting great pressure on family life. So we're here today to stand up for life and for family life, for the relationships between mothers and their children, and fathers and their children, and also for couples.
I think there needs to be a change of mindset at every level in our society, that people need to be not just privately against abortion, but they need to be, as Pope Leo would say, respectfully clear in defending the truth in social gatherings and in the public space.
There was a strong presence of young people at the march who were driven by enthusiasm for the protection of life.
I feel so passionately about defending every human life.
For me, it's definitely because I care so much about women.
Because I'm pro-life and proud, and I'm proud to show that I am pro-life.
Just standing up for truth and for the unborn, the people that don't have a voice.
As a Catholic, I believe in the importance of protecting life, and I believe that begins at conception.
Life is important, life is precious. Unless we fight for life, we will never win.
If a younger man sees a man in his 20s screaming pro-life and proud, then hopefully that'll make the younger generation wake up a small bit as well.
Zofia Czubak for EWTN Pro-Life Weekly.
That does it for this edition of EWTN Pro-Life Weekly. Be sure to like and follow us on our social media channels. You can find us at EWTN Pro-Life on X, Facebook, and Instagram. And sign up for our newsletter, The Pro-Life Pulse, EWTNnews.com/pro-life. Remember, life is a gift. Your life is a gift. God bless.